This is episode number 2 of my Venus 225 podcast, and it's New Year. So I have decided to begin the year with a mini series of short episode to help you set fitness and health goals for the year that are not necessarily weight loss related, even though I will have one short episode to help you set your weight loss goals for the year and talk about why most people fail in those resolutions and how to succeed at them. But the mini series are going to be about strength, muscle mass, and mobility, which is the one we're going to talk about today, weight loss, cardiovascular function, how to set up goals around cardiovascular function and how to improve it, and the microbiome. We're going to do a short episode about gut health and the microbiome and how you can set New Year's resolutions around this. I like the idea that not every health and fitness goal has to be around weight management. And this is why I'm going to help you with this mini series. Like I say, today we're diving deep into muscle mass, strength, and a little bit of mobility. Every January, millions of people show up at the gym with their New Year's resolution, and what they want is to get fit, other than weight loss, right? People decide, okay, this is the year, I'm gonna grow my muscle mass, I'm gonna get fit, I wanna get shred, I wanna see my body look cut, you name it. But the problem with that is that there is not a specific goal. So when you say, I want to get fit, what does that mean? How does that look like? I am going to help you figure that out. We need to set specific goals. And before we dive into those specific goals, let's talk about why having clear objectives is crucial. Think about this. Would you get in the car to go somewhere? Decide you want to go, let's say I live in Colorado. Let's say I want to go to downtown Denver. Would I get in my car and just drive randomly without a plan, without knowing how to get to downtown Denver and expect to get there? Probably not. So would I leave my house and turn left, turn right, get on the highway, not knowing if I'm going east or west or south or where, and expect to make it to downtown? I wouldn't do that. And the thing is, that is what we do with our fitness goals. We said, I want to get fit, or I want to grow my shoulders. I want to have sexy cat shoulders. Okay, that's fantastic, but how do I get there? That would be like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. Okay, that would be like, I'm going to get in the car to go to downtown. Okay, now you're at the gym. I am in the car. How do I get there? That is where we need to not only have objective and clear goals, but understand that we need a program, we need a plan. We show up at the gym randomly and start exercising without direction. Having specific goals helps you first. It gives you a training purpose. You have a reason why to go train. Every workout becomes a little step forward, a little stepping stone that is going to get you to where you want to get. It provides measurable markers. So it gives you a sense of progress where you can see improvement on a small things. If you have a training plan and you start seeing improvements, then that fuels your motivation. And it helps you structure your training effectively. You're not just, like I said, you're not just exercising, you're training for something. So when you have a purpose, your odds of keeping working towards it are bigger. Like in January, we're all very motivated. Like we have this feeling of a fresh start. We are like a new person, better, improve, and we're going to achieve our goals this year. This is it. That is fantastic. But that motivation it doesn't last forever. And that's one of the reasons why we fail, because we are counting on our motivation to take us through the process. So If you have a purpose, when motivation starts to go down, you still have a purpose. You know what you're working for. So it is the motivation doesn't become the driver. The driver is the purpose. And then your discipline is what takes you there. Because otherwise, life gets in the way. And if you don't have a realistic, objective, measurable purpose, you are not going to achieve this. So only getting fit is not going to take you there. Let's see. Today, I decided to begin with the strength and muscle mass and a little bit about mobility because strength is one of the biggest markers for longevity. It's one of the things that has the most impact on your risk of all-cause mortality. If you've heard to Peter Attia's podcast, if you don't know who he is, he's a doctor and he specializes in longevity. He talks a lot about all the different causes of all-cause mortality. And he says that data shows that being weak being weak compared to being strong increases your risk of all-cause mortality by 250%. What does that mean? It means that if you take a person that is strong and you compare that person to someone that is weak, so strong, weak, that person that is weak has 2.5 times more risk of dying than the person who is strong. There are many reasons for this, but one of them is the risk of fall increases your risk of dying a huge time. So I decided, okay, let's start with something that is meaningful for life in general, for functional life and longevity, and how to set goals for that. Here's what's really important. The little things that you need to start looking at. First one, can you get up from the floor without using your hands? That is the first assessment. So in order for us to set goals, we need to know where we're at. So the first thing we're going to do to set this strength, mobility, and muscle mass goals is to do an assessment. You can do this by yourself. You can also hire a personal trainer, but I'm going to try to guide you so you can do all this by yourself. So the first one is, can you get up off the floor without using your hands? Do it right now. I'll give you a second. Stand up, sit on the floor, and see if you can get up without using your hands. If you can't, that's the first goal for this year is going to be to be able to get up off the floor without using your hands. Then little things. Can you carry all your groceries from the store to the car? Well, all your groceries, this is a bad example. I'm sorry. I apologize. Because it depends if it's a huge load of groceries or a small one. But let's say, can you carry a couple of grocery bags for one block? So if you would live in a place where you walk from your grocery store to your house, can you carry your groceries from the store to your house? Or let's say, I don't know, you live where I live, no one walks anywhere. The question would be, can you at least carry your groceries from the store to the car? Okay, can you maintain good posture throughout your workday? So when you're sitting on your desk, can you maintain good posture through the whole day without it being a big effort? Or do you start collapsing? Do you start like losing form? That is lack of strength. It sounds simple and it seems like it's just, it's me just relaxing. But no, it really is lack of strength. Same thing when you're standing on lane. Like say you're in a lane sorry, please don't mind my Spanglish. At a fast food restaurant, you're waiting for your order. Do you keep your posture or do you lose your posture and collapse? Those are the first things you need to assess to set your goals. Okay, now let's get a little bit more serious with this. We have two types of different, let's say, strength exercises or workouts. And ones are like body weight exercises. So let's call them functional. And those are the ones that you can do at home. And then you have more resistance training, lifting exercises. And those are the ones that you're probably going to need to go to a gym to be able to perform them. Let's begin with body weights, so things that you can do at home. And here are just a few examples, but I think are the ones that are the most important. Push-ups, pull-ups, planks, wall sits, in hanging time, so grip, you hang from a bar, body weight. Those are going to be like my 6 most important things that you can work at home that are functional and that are great for longevity and that you can use to set up New Year's resolutions. I'm going to begin at the end here. So I want you to understand the timeline expectations for this, for muscle mass and for strength. You should see significant strength gains from 3 to 6 months. In a 12-week program, you should see, if it's a good program, you should see good strength and muscle mass gains. But let's say it's 3 to 6 months, considering that maybe you're not working with a personal trainer, that your program is not so effective, you are still going to see improvements in a time frame of 3 to 6 months. Why am I setting this first? Because this is what's going to help you set these goals. One of the major reasons we fail with our New Year's resolution is we set a 1-year goal. 1-year goal. 1 year is a big, big time frame. So let's say you want to work on your pull-ups, and your goal is going to be able to do 1 negative pull-up. So 1 pull-up, your body while hanging, bring your head up the bar. If you set a 1-year goal, this is kind of lost in nowhere. Like 1 year is such a long timeline that there is no sense of time pressure or need to really work on this. So it comes November and you're like, oh, it's been 11 months and I have not worked on this. Let me start working on this right now. And this is the reason why I want you to understand that you only need 3 to 6 months to achieve most of these goals. I want you to break your goals into 12 weeks, into 8 to 12 weeks, so you can really see them coming through. Push-ups. Let's start here. If you're starting out, you're probably not going to be able to do a push-up on the floor, a full 1 rep. So you are going to start assessing your capacity to do a push-up. You begin on the wall. You do a wall push-up. So you're standing, your hands are in front of you on the wall, and that's how you perform 1 push-up. You practice good and proper form that way. Yeah, don't laugh. Push-ups are really hard, especially for women, because we don't work our chest that much. But it is okay. We all begin somewhere. You don't have to be perfect. That's the whole point. Otherwise, we would not be setting push-ups as a goal if they would be so easy. So once you can do good push-ups on the wall with proper form, then you move to do them like from a bench. And then from the bench, you progress and you do them gradually on the floor. And you begin with 1 push-up, and there you go. Plank. For plank, which is core, you first do an assessment. So you go on a low plank on the floor with your hip aligned with your spine, and you set up your stopwatch and you see how long can you sustain that plank. Based on your initial assessment is that you're going to set your goal. What do we want to see for push-ups or planks? For longevity, I am talking about health and longevity. We want to see at least 1 push-up. That would be our initial goal. And then the next goal, which would be ideal for longevity, is to be able to do 5 to 10 reps nonstop. So 5 to 10 push-ups nonstop. That is going to be your final goal if you're working for longevity. Now, if you're already doing that and you want to increase the amount of push-ups you can do, great. Then you set another goal. But again, you set the goals thinking that is going to be a 12-week program. So if you can do one push-up, you're going to say, in 12 weeks, I want to be able to do one push-up. Once you hit that goal, then you set another 12-week goal and you say, okay, now I can do one. Now I want to be able to do 5 in 12 weeks. And there you go. Once you do those 5, then you set another 12-week program and you say, okay, the next 12-week program is, or goal is going to be able to do 10 push-ups. There you're getting the idea how you set up these goals. Plank. Going back to the plank. Sorry, I jump like back and forth here a little bit. I apologize. Going back to the plank, well, maybe you can only do 20 seconds in your assessment. That is fine. What do we want to see? I want to see every single one of my clients to be able to do a 2-minute plank. So the minimum would be 1 minute. Ideally, you can do 1 minute. And then you want to work slowly on increasing that to 2 to 3 minutes. But 2 minutes, I am happy. 3 minutes, I am very happy. So again, you begin with your assessment, and based on that, you set a 12-week program. If your first plank was 1 minute, okay, now what's my goal? I'm going to take it to 2 minutes. In 12 weeks, I am going to take it to 2 minutes. How I'm going to do this? I'm going to do plank every day, or you set up your system. Remember, you get in the car and you see, how am I going to get it to downtown Denver? Okay, I need to take I-75 and then I-25. Okay, this is how you do your program for your plank. The other one that is functional that you can do at home would be wall sits. What is a wall sit? It's basically a squat where you have your back against the wall. So you lean your back against the wall and then you start coming down into a squat all the way until your thighs are parallel to the floor. That moment you set your stopwatch and you see how long you can sustain that position. For a wall sit, again, we want to see a minimum of 1 minute and increase it all the way to 3 minutes. That is the ideal for longevity. So where does these numbers come from? They come from what you need to be doing now when you are, 30, 40, 50, 60, in order for you to be strong enough when you are 80, in order for you to be independent when you're 80. You cannot wait until you're 80 to do a 3-minute wall sit because it's not going to happen. You need to work on that right now. And then once you hit those numbers, you cannot just quit because then you're going to lose it. You need to keep working on maintaining that level of strength. So when you're 80, you are absolutely independent and you can enjoy your retirement, right? Okay, pull-ups. Pull-ups is a fantastic one because it's like a full body exercise. It requires core strength. It requires shoulder, bicep, you name it, upper back. They're fantastic. Everyone should be able to do one full body weight pull-up. If you can do one pull-up, okay, this has to be one of your biggest priorities for the year. Achieve one negative pull-up. And after you have achieved one, what do we want to see? 5 pull-ups is a good number, especially for women. For men, well, I would say around 15. But for women, 5 pull-ups would be a great place to be for strength. And the last one in the category of functional strength is going to be hanging grip strength. So grip strength, it is very important. And studies have shown that it's one of the biggest predictor of longevity. And most importantly, it's a predictor of cognitive decline. So how do you work on your grip strength or how you measure it at home? I mean, you can measure with a dynamometer, but at home, it's pretty simple. You do grip hanging. So you hang with both hands, body weight, from a bar, feet off the floor, and you check how long can you hold that body weight hang. Ideally, you want to be able to hang in there for 1 minute. If you can't, well, then there's another goal for the year. See what's your time right now. If it's 20 seconds, okay, then in 12 weeks, you want to be hanging 40 seconds. And then the next 12 weeks, you want to hit the 1 minute. Those are like the basic, most important functional movements that we assess for longevity, and that can be great for you to set New Year's resolutions regarding strength and muscle mass for longevity. Now I'm going to move into the resistance training, which would be more lifting exercises that you are probably going to need a gym to work on them. Remember, these are long-term goals. These are not one workout goals. You're not going to go to the gym and achieve any of these. These are long-term goals. And that's why I'm telling you advising you to break them in pieces and break them in 12-week, 3 months, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, tiny goals. Get the big goal and break it in as small pieces because it takes a lot of time to hit all these goals. So, lifting possible New Year resolution goals, remember they are relative strength goals based on body weight. So, deadlift, barbell squat, bench press. You measure this with 1 rep max. So, what is the maximum amount of weight that you can perform 1 repetition? That's how you measure this in your strength. And the goal is going to be based on your age and gender in your weight. I am going to leave you here on the show notes a link to download a PDF where you can see all the goals for these main exercises based on age and gender. So it works like this. Deadlift. Everyone should be able to do 1 repetition of your body weight. So whatever it is you weighed in pounds, let's say I weighed 140 pounds, I should be able to do 1 deadlift of 140 pounds with good form. That's the minimum again. The next ideal goal is going to be 1.5 times your body weight. I am very happy with that for longevity. Now, if you want to get even stronger, then an advanced goal would be to do 2 times your body weight. Once again, you set this in small goals. You do an assessment. You see what's your 1 rep max at this moment. Let's say I am 140 pounds and my 1 rep max is, when I just get a number here randomly, 80 pounds. Okay, if I am at 80 pounds, my first goal is going to be my body weight, which is 140. Okay, so I'm going to make a program to work for 12 weeks until I make it to that 1 time my body weight. Then I break it again, another 12 weeks, and I'm going to take it to 1.5. And then if I want to keep working at it, another 12 weeks, and I'm going to take it to 2 times my body weight. Squat, barbell squat, same thing. Everyone should be able to do 1 full good range of motion squat with at least your body weight. So when I say squats are tricky because many people have knee issues that don't let them have full range of motion, or they're stiff, or they're hip issues. So I see many clients that don't have a full range of motion, let's call it deep squat, and that is fine. You are not going to go to a weightlifting competition where you want to show your form. You work with what your capabilities are. Yes, you want to work on proper form, but you don't have to force yourself to a range of motion that you're not able to, especially if you're older like me. If you're starting to work on squats when you're 40, like when you're 50, you have to be more understanding that your body's set in a certain way, and sometimes you cannot change that. So you're gonna do, if you can only do a half squat, that is fine. But I wanna see it at least your body weight. And then work towards 1.25 times your body weight, 1.5. Okay? Bench press. Bench press for women is a tricky one because we don't work much on our chest. Actually, I don't work much on the chest of my female clients because it doesn't have much function and it doesn't have any cosmetic reasons to work on it. Different than men that do work on chest a lot because there's a big cosmetic part of it for them. So for female, the version of the bench press would be the push-ups. I want to see you be able to do 5 or 10 consecutive reps with good form. And for men, you want to build your bench press to your own body weight. So if you're a male and you weigh 190 pounds, you do an assessment, see how much you're bench pressing right now, and you're going to work towards being able to do one full rep with your 190 pounds. Again, how we do this is with an assessment first, then you break your goals in little pieces. Good ways to measure progress are videos of you doing these movements, because you're going to see the difference in the quality of the movement. Another one, of course, if you want to see improvements in your body composition, is take progress pictures. You can take pictures at home and see you're sure you have done it. You flex, you see how your muscle is growing, and then in 3 months, you take another picture and you see the difference. If you get a personal trainer, which would be the ideal, but all this, again, you can do it by yourself. It would be better with a personal trainer, yes, because you're probably going to have more efficient program. You're going to have lower risk of injury. And this person can do skin fold measurements to see how you grow muscle, can do tape measurements, can do other type of progress measurements for you to see where you're at and how you are making progress again. Like I said before, timeline expectations, 3 to 6 months, you are going to see significant strength gains. It's good to keep a log, a weekly progress log, so you can track again how you progress. Weekly progressions, you have to be constantly progressing the effort. So every week you add 1 rep or 2 reps. Once you have add too many reps, then you reduce the reps back to around 8 and you add weight. And then every week you add a little bit of reps again with that new weight. So you keep a log for this. That's going to be how you can set your New Year's resolution at the gym and make sure this year you do achieve your fitness goal. So it's not about getting fit. It's about being able to deadlift certain amount of weight. It's about being able to do a pull-up. Okay. And that is what translates on getting fit. But now you have a plan. When you're going to do your assessment, you have to be careful because doing a 1 rep max is difficult. And if you don't have good form, especially for the lifting movements, right? For the ones we talk at the gym, the ones that you're going to do at home, they're not a problem. Plank time, pull up, you're not going to have major risk with those. But for example, with the squat, barbell squat, or the deadlift, there is a bigger risk of injury. So if you can afford it, my suggestion is going to be to hire a personal trainer. Personal trainer is going to guide you through the whole process. It's going to help you set the goals. It's going to make sure your time at the gym, you get the most for your buck. Your time at the gym really gives you result. You can do it by yourself, yes. Internet is a big help. The University of YouTube can help you see how you do a proper form deadlift, how you do a proper form um, barbell squat. You can learn a lot online, but it is not the same as having a professional standing next to you, making sure you are doing the movements the proper way and making sure you are following a program that is going to help you achieve your goals. If you can't afford a personal trainer, I'm going to give you a tip. What you can do is you can hire a personal trainer just for the assessment and maybe 1 or 2 sessions. So you talk to a personal trainer and you explain that you cannot afford to work one on one on a daily basis, but that these are your goals, these are your New Year's resolutions, and you want the personal trainer help to first do an assessment. So help you look for where you stand right now. That person is gonna go with you through the right movements, make sure you have proper form, teach you proper form, and then perform the 1 rep max with you. So you're reducing the risk of injury. And then you work by yourself. Or, depending on your budget, you can also ask this personal trainer to develop a program for you. You can pay a trainer to develop a 12-week program for you to get to these goals. And then in 12 weeks, you can go back to that personal trainer and say, hey, you know what? I have achieved my goals. Now the next goals would be this. So help me do an assessment again. You pay for an assessment and then you pay for a 12-week program. And that way, it's like an in between. You don't expend as much money as being one on one with a personal trainer, but you're not doing it 100% by yourself. So that goes, good suggestion. Then let me close with a little bit of flexibility and mobility. This is very important. I have mixed feelings about flexibility and mobility because some people obsess about flexibility. Mobility and flexibility for me are not the same. Mobility is being able to move properly, to have good range of motion to go through life. And flexibility is many times a genetic component. Some people are more flexible than others. And let me tell you something. We obsess with flexibility, and here comes why I have mixed feelings about this. People that are extreme flexible are way more prone to injury. If you are very flexible, you have to be stronger than the person that is stiff, because flexibility without control equals injury. So if you are genetically flexible, you need to work more on your strength than a person that is genetically stiff, because there is bigger risk of injury. And so for some sports, for example, being stiff can be relatively a good thing. Like for running, there's some data that shows that if you're a little bit too flexible, you have less running economy. But well, that would be subject for another episode. So regarding mobility, let's call it mobility. There are just little things that I'm going to mention. We're not going to dive too deep into this. One would be, are you able to touch your toes standing? Lean forward, touch your toes while keeping your leg straight and your heels on the floor. That is a big one. You should be able to do that, and that is hamstring mobility. Many times, lack of hamstring mobility is weakness, and it improves with lifting. So here's where a personal trainer can give you a lot of value, because if you really don't know these things, you can confuse lack of mobility with stiffness, and many times is just weakness. But there goes one that you can set a goal. Can you touch your toes? No? Okay. Then my goal for the next 12 weeks is going to be to work on my hamstring mobility, and I want to end the year being able to touch my toes. Can you perform a full squat, again, with your heels on the ground? Again, for mobility, a personal trainer can help you a lot, because if you lift your heels when you're performing a squat, it can be many different things. Most people think is bad form, but it can be that you have really tight calves. And again, it's not necessarily that they're tight, they could be weak. And it can also be from genetic components like shortened Achilles tendons. So some people just can't perform a squat with their heels on the floor. Is this something that you want to work on? Ideally, yes. So that can be a goal for the year. Can you raise your arms overhead without arching your back? This is a typical one for older people. So people in their 60s, 70s, posture is a big thing, and they lose range of motion, mobility on their spine and back. Can you raise your hands while still have a straight back and open chest? That's another one for mobility. And the other one that I really like is, can you perform a rotation of the shoulders in the following way? Can you put a bar, let's say a broom, on your back over your shoulders, and then take your arms up and back around that broom or pole or stick? If you can do that, there is a big uh, issue with shoulder mobility. And that's another one that you can set for as a goal for the year. At the end of the year, I want to be able to do this rotation with my shoulders. If your answer is no to some of these questions, well, then the goal is going to be to set a morning routine for mobility. And you just dedicate 5 to 10 minutes every morning to work on your mobility. It could be things like cat-cow stretches for spine mobility, arm circles for shoulder mobility, as simple as that. Hip circles for hip mobility, ankle rolls for foot mobility. And again, PT can help you with this, or a personal trainer, and if not, the University of YouTube. You see where you're stiff at, you probably know. You don't need, for mobility, most people know where they're very stiff. You go on YouTube and you look for mobility exercises for hip, mobility exercises for spine, for shoulder, for whatever it is that you want to work on. Spend just 5 to 10 minutes each morning. The goal isn't to become a contortionist. Again, like I said, don't obsess with flexibility. You don't want to be an Olympic gymnastic. You just want to have good mobility for life quality. Maintain functional range of motion, not extreme flexibility and mobility. So here you go. I've gave you a few goals, fitness related, that are not weight loss related, that are measurable and objective, and that are important for longevity and for life in general, for quality of life. You want to be able to move, to be independent, to carry kids, to lay on the floor and stand up. Now you know how to set your fitness goal. So it's not about getting fit. It's about achieving these little things. And these little things mean getting fit. Thank you so much. This was episode number 2. This time I went a little bit shorter because I listened to your feedback. And I hope you all have a fantastic 2025. And I can help you with your fitness and health goals and preventative, how would I call it? It's not preventative medicine. It's preventative quality of life. I don't know. Maybe you help me put a description onto this. The next episode of this mini series is going to be about weight loss. Yes, because most people set New Year's resolutions about weight loss. And let's be honest, 80% of the United States population are either obese or they need to lose weight. I want to help you achieve this goal. We're going to do a short episode about why people fail every year with the weight loss resolutions and how to succeed at them. So please, if you're watching this on YouTube, click like for the algorithm and follow all the channels. Like you can find this podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, you name it. Please follow so you can get notified when the next episode is up on air and live. Thank you so much and Happy New Year.